Welcome to Waterloo News. I'm Ryan Jean.
I'm Tyler Osbrooks. The Waterloo class of 2017 has achieved an important milestone. 26% of the senior class scored at or above the college readiness level on the science portion of the ACT. To reach the readiness level in science, students must score 23 or better. This is an outstanding accomplishment for those students. The scores of these college-ready students were good enough to be the second highest ACT science percentage of the Lauderdale County school system, behind only Lexington High School. 27% met the benchmark. Their achievement is a result of hard work by those seniors and a commitment to the high classroom standards and expectations set by our science teachers. Mr. Franks and Ms. Mason, congratulations to all. Here is our interview.
So, Mr. Franks, what techniques do you find useful in your classroom?
Well, there's a variety of techniques that are useful in a classroom, but establishing a healthy rapport with your students seems to work well with me. And then in addition to that, or along with that, having a sense of humor. And I really was somewhat surprised, not saying that these students couldn't achieve it, but I think that the new state curriculum, where it implemented the SCPs, it's got cross-cutting concepts, DCIs, or disciplinary core ideas, and then your other ways in which they are measured, where it's broke down and you present students with problems like critical thinking questions and things that I have them to do in class. And I think that it really makes them have to sit back and not just memorize things, but think through a question before they answer it.
Yes, sir. So how many years of experience do you have between you two?
43 years total. I've been teaching for 20.
And this is starting my 23rd year.
Okay. So, Mr. Franks, how do you motivate your students?
Well, on some days it's more challenging than others, but like I say, I try to, some things may not be real exciting to them, so I try to add a sense of humor to it, or try to pull it into, real life situations. Sometimes we even, I've got all kinds of science, instrumentation and things in my room, and I may just pull something out right then just to show them how it is, spontaneity, not always just ho-hum teaching, be spontaneous, pull stuff in to help explain things, and also to make it, more exciting. Or sometimes this year, I've even let the students, and you've been a part of that, design their own lab, and I think that's ways to get things going and get students really motivated and at least paying attention so that they can learn what I'm trying to teach that day.
That's very interesting. How do you incorporate science into your everyday life, Ms. Mason?
Well, I do my best to get students to understand that science is a part of your everyday life. For example, the scientific method, where you take steps to solve any type of problem or to find a solution. Well, that's the same situation when you get up and have to get yourself ready to come to school every day. And that's going to carry on even after school, when you have to get up every day to go get your job or go to your job. So I try to make sure that students are able to relate to simple things of life when it comes to science, even things such as like baking a cake. Again, that relates to the scientific method. So again, by keeping it simple, students are able to relate to everyday situations that occur in their life.
So how do you deal with struggling students?
I deal with struggling students in various ways, but I guess you could say, to narrow it down, I use different types of strategies in my room. I've used a lot of collaboration over the years I have, and also I use things such as like reading strategies, where we build their reading level to get them to understand the content more and to kind of like help break it down, and don't just present it in this large, huge chunk, but break it down to where they have an understanding for each part of what we're discussing for that particular time. For example, there's a strategy that I use for like vocabulary words. Actually, there's two different strategies that I use for vocabulary words. One of them is called T-charts, and the other one is called a Freyer model. The T-chart is more simpler, it's not as complex, but it does get the point across to allow the students to understand more so about the vocabulary words that they have to do for that particular chapter. And in using those T-charts, they give me a definition, and they can give me like 2 or 3 characteristics that relate to that particular word. So again, it helps to kind of like help them to relate to the chapter. And then the other one that I just mentioned about the Freyer model, there's more parts to it, but again, it kind of like breaks it down into chunks where they're able to understand what that vocabulary word actually means. It, of course, still includes the definition, but then I put other parts with it, like giving me a sentence along with characteristics, maybe 2, no more than 3, and then an image that relates to the word itself. So those are some things that help with my struggling students to